na ku wati wuri kuyi Lubage hakaida ku aba here muha Magriya hatiya sandi hawu Lubage herera ku aba here muha Daya daya na mulego Daya daya na mulego Daya daya no madagudo Daya daya no madagudo Daya daya ni duendo Daya daya ni duendo Daya daya no madagudo Daya daya no madagudo Daya daya ni duendo Daya daya ni duendo Daya daya no madagudo Daya daya no madagudo
I said ready, we're ready. Yes. Demotia. Aha. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga. This is Garifuna Music and Talk, and this is DJ Labuga, straight from the studios in Long Beach, California. We are very pleased to have a very special lady tonight, Trish St.Hill. She was born Utricia Harvalyn Charles in the village of Troumaca in the exotic, very exotic country of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in the West Indies. She is the third of 14 children in her family. Her parents, David Charles and Jacqueline St.Hill Charles. Trish is a pen name. Her father was a district agriculture officer who specialized in cocoa propagation. Because of his job, the family moved to Camden Park when Trish was 4 years old. She would gain some of her most pleasant memories in that village. They finally settled in town of Barrouallie. I'm gonna have to get a correction from those names once we get Trish on the line. When Trish was 8, and the family still have a home in that town today, of course. Her mother ran a small bakery and grocery store. Along with farming, the couple was able to support their 14 children, as well as her father's oldest daughter. As a child, Trish was very curious. My greatest delight was to sit at her grandmother's feet and listen to stories about her grandmother, who she calls Nenen. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play a little bit more music while we wait for the phone call from Miss Trish St.Hill, who is behind the project of the revitalization, reacculturation of the Garifuna back into the homeland, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, also known as Urumain. She is responsible for bringing back year after year a wonderful program that teaches the children in St. Vincent the Garifuna language through drumming and music, and of course there's all kinds of activities that she will be talking about. So ladies and gentlemen, right after this ID from the station, we are going to bring to you live from the studios in Long Beach via telephone call in New York, Miss Trish St.Hill. Yes. Welcome to Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga. We present our weekly radio show every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. We have interviews from Aurelio Martinez to Consigo, Gado Nunez, Gloria Osiris, Lord Agustin. Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga brings them all to you on our weekly radio show. Listen live on your home computer, smartphone, iPad, and notebook. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook through Ronnie Figueroa. Also on TuneIn, if you don't have the application, download it for free. Welcome to Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about this wonderful project of the retrieval of the Garifuna culture in the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's under this non-profit organization called GAHFU, and it's an annual program that facilitates the retrieval of the indigenous Garifuna culture to the homeland Urumain, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This has been going on for the past 3-4 years now, but we're going to get it straight from the mouth of the lioness. We're going to get it straight from an author of not only one but 3 books. Miss Trish St.Hill will be here after this song. So, Kemotia, Wabinaha, Wafeduha. This is Brody Castillo, and the song is called Urumain.
Yurumai Kaimo gari nagu Kaimo te agu you Yurumai Kaimo gari nagu Kaimo te agu you Yurumai Kaimo ni du hey you Kaimo te agu you Yurumai Mapulay daw amay Iya wasaguru Luha brogo English Mapulay daw amay Iya wasaguru Luha brogo France Mapulay daw amay Iya wasaguru Luha brogo Megero Mabulay daw amay Iya wasiguru Luha brogo mulad Dari nagu agamba humana Hey mate agu you Yurumai Kaimo gari nagu Hey mate agu you Yurumai Kaimo ni du hey you Kaimo te agu you Yurumai Kaimo gari nagu Kaimo te agu you Yurumai Abulay daw amay Yawaruwaite Joseph Chatuye Abulay daw amay Yawarugute Alego Beni Abulay daw amay Yawayawurite TV Ramos Abulay daw amaw Yawaw fure Made Louis Agamba humana Kaimo gari nagu Kaimo te agu you Yurumai Kaimo gari nagu Kaimo te agu you Yurumai Kaimo gari nagu Kaimo te agu you Yurumai Kaimo ni du hey you Kaimo te agu you Yurumai Abulay daw amay Yawarugute Alego Beni Abulay daw amay Yawayawurite TV Ramos Abulay daw amaw Yawaw fure Made Louis Gamba humana Kaimo gari nagu Kaimo te agu you Yurumai Kaimo gari nagu
Yes, Kemotia.
Kaimo te agu you
Powerful music
Yurumai
for powerful people. People who have endured an exile in their homeland to reconnect with the people of Urume, St. Vincent. So people pass the word. Let them know that we are live and direct with Garifuna Music and Talk. Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga. We're live and direct from the studios in Long Beach. And we want to welcome Ms. Trish St.Hill. How are you, Trish?
I'm fine, Ronnie. How are you?
I am very excited. I am so elated. I am feeling irie.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
Hey, yes. Well, I guess you've been away from your own island for what, now a year, right? You go back to back every year to enjoy.
Just back. I actually was there, but I just came back about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. So how was the homeland? How was Urume?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I had, normally when I go for the cultural retrieval workshop, so I don't get a lot of rest time. But this time I went to accompany my mom back home and spent 2 weeks and just bathe in the sea and just relax and chill and, just have fun.
Yes, beautiful. Thank you for accepting our phone call. Thank you for being with us. After having posted your powerful biography, I posted it on my Facebook page, on my profile, and it's just a lot of things that you do in the community. You are a very powerful woman. You are very smart, very dedicated in what you do. And I want to welcome you tonight to our show. And tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us who Trish St.Hill is.
Well, Trish St.Hill, as you said when you were reading the bio, my actual name is Utricia Charles, and Trish St.Hill is actually my pen name, which is derived from a nickname of Trish for Utricia, and my mother's maiden name, St.Hill. So it's not totally fictitious, but it's not my legal name. It's my pen name. And I grew up in St. Vincent. I now live in New York, with my Long Island, New York, with my family. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a corporate lady. I'm a writer. I am a activist. I am a culturalist. I could go on and on, but basically, at the end of the day, I'm just a normal mother and grandmother, a working woman.
Yes, indeed. No, you are someone that we look up to, someone who has the passion for bringing the Garifuna culture, which was stolen and taken away from your people, from the people who stayed behind as the Garinagu were exiled to Central America. And believe me, Trish, we are so lucky as Central Americans to have the Garifuna in our homeland in Central America. They have given us so much, to the development of the entire isthmus. You know what I mean? Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala have benefited so much from the wonderful music, the culture that they brought with them, and they never forgot. It's just powerful. I get emotional when I say things like that.
Yeah, I've visited Belize twice. I've been to Honduras. And not that Belize is not a beautiful country, because it certainly is a beautiful country.
Yes.
But without the Garifuna culture, it will not be as interesting a place.
Yes.
I
love that. Man,
it will not be half as interesting.
Oh, yes.
I had a gentleman who worked for me, and he went to Belize City, and he said, he said, it's terrible. And I said, no, you have to go where my folks are from. You have to go to Dangriga. You have to go to Hopkins, PG. That's where you have to go.
That is so beautiful. I love your passion. So, Trish, what motivated you to come to the United States? What happened in St. Vincent and when you come here, reunite with Garinagu? What motivated you to come to the United States?
I came here like most people to have a better life. You think, okay, America is this, haven and wonderful opportunities. And it certainly has been that for me. I have certainly had a chance to further my education, to build a career, build a life. And I wouldn't trade my coming to America for anything in the world. But when I came here in 1979, it was just a starry-eyed 20-year-old. I'm going to be giving my age away. I'm 56 now.
Hello.
I was just a starry-eyed young woman who just wanted to come and, see what America is about. And I came here like very much like most people without a green card, and basically had to walk my way up and did whatever I had to do. Babysat, take care of people's children, their house, and did whatever I had to do until I was able to get a green card, go back to college, and eventually, started a family, built a career. And so what people see today, I always tell them this is not the Trish that came to the United States in 1979.
Of course.
Yes. I came from a middle-class family, a solidly middle-class family. But when you come to America and you don't have a green card, you better do whatever you can do.
Yeah.
And so the first year was very difficult for me, but eventually I was able to meld into the society and say, you know what, you're here without a green card. Do what you can, do what you have to do, and take care of yourself. And that's the product you're seeing in front of you today.
Beautiful.
Called Trish St.Hill.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga through www.radiocentroamerica.com in the West Coast, in Los Angeles, of course, and lmbroots.com radio in New York. And we are live in the studio in Long Beach, California, via the telephone lines with Trish St.Hill, a Garifuna, proud Garifuna woman straight from St. Vincent, who is here. Now, my next question, Trish, is how did you come in contact with Garinagu while in New York?
Well, I actually accidentally happened upon my roots. I had certain things in my family that were different in terms of, I always tell a story about my grandmother, Ma St.Hill, and their mother, Nenen. But Nenen, my great-grandmother, they were Garifuna women, and they live and died and never knew that. But they always had this different hair texture that, even as a child, I kind of figured, black people don't have that kind of hair. They're just totally black. And I would always question them about it. And so that never made much sense to me. So I came to America, and let me fast forward. My sister was visiting, and she said to me one day, people always ask me if me am Garifuna. And I had never heard that word because I left there 20 years of age.
Wow.
And when I left it, the awareness had not really started happening yet. Mm-hmm. So I said, very embarrassed to say, I said, what's that? And she explained to me, and then she saw how interested I was, and she sent a book called The Rise and Fall of the Black Caribs. So I developed this real passion for it and just started to dig and dig and dig. And because a light bulb went on, that, oh my God, that is what, so, but I wasn't sure. So I started digging, started talking to people, and that's how I uncovered who we really were. And then began this quest of trying to connect with them. So I met one lady who worked on my job. She was from Honduras. And I said, can I talk to your mother, your grandmother? Because, Ronnie, you could imagine I grew up, and I knew every other piece of me. But this is the piece I didn't know about.
Wow.
And so I often say, if I was brought up knowing that I was a Garifuna, it probably would not have been anything more than the ordinary to me, because I just am. But when you have lived your life, not know about something, and find out at a late stage in life, I was like close to 40, I think, at the time when I found this out, and realizing that, oh my gosh, this whole piece of me that I have no clue about. So there become this passion, this drive to want to connect and meet with them. And the one lady I met, she said, well, she didn't grow up in the Garifuna community. She really don't know. I said, what about your mother and your grandmother? And she said, oh, she always would promise, but she never would connect me. And I met Felix Miranda accidentally at an event, a Vincentian event. Felix Miranda is a Garifuna from Belize. Someone told me who he was, and they brought him to me, and we became the best of friends. Every one of my books, he proofread those books for me, free of charge. He will take as long as he needs to take to make sure everything is clean and formatted properly. Oh. And he's never one day said, Trish, can you do this for me? I do that. It's always just, I just want to help you out in whatever way I can. My sister, she introduced me to Marta Colon and James Lavelle and Rosita Alvarez and these folks, and he told me, he said, I'm going to retire, but I want you to stay with these guys and stay in touch with them. And at that point, Ronnie, I had written Beneath the Golden Mango Tree, but it was called beneath the golden apple tree. I later on changed it to mangoes.
Okay.
But at that point, the story was just a Caribbean tale. It was not a Garifuna tale. Well, I was so intrigued with all the information I was finding out and getting that I decided to change a lot of it. Change the name, make it more with the names that the Garifunas used to have in St. Vincent, Francois, instead of Felicia Jones. She's now Felicia Francois.
Yeah.
And then I started, changing the story to educate. That book was introductory for people who didn't know about the Garifuna heritage in St. Vincent. That book introduced it in a very simple way. The
Very
first
powerful.
book.
Very nice. You know one thing, Trish, I could see the way you are, I could see the writing part of you because of the storytelling, the way you tell your stories, you put it together so nicely. I just want to continue to listen to the story. It's just wonderful. I think that you have that passion to really tell. Now, we have a lot of people listening in the United States, but we have a lot more people listening in Central America and Belize. We have a lot of listeners. But I want you to say hello to the people who are listening in the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, please.
Yes, my dear Vincentian people, as I usually say, you Romanian. I do want to say hi, and I can't wait to come back and soak up the sunlight. Every time I leave St. Vincent, I cry. Every time I leave, I cry. And I don't know why. I just miss it. I just don't want to be away from it. But, of course, I have a life here, and I have to prepare for my retirement, so I do have to come back. But I love my Vincentian people. I love my Garifuna, wherever they're from, whether they're from Belize, Honduras, and I meet Garifuna people. I always have such love in my heart for them.
Yes, no, indeed. And just imagine in the next few years, I'm talking about maybe next year or maybe 2 more years, when the airport is finally completed in St. Vincent, where you don't have to make so many stops from island to island to reach to your destination. That time is coming soon. Tell us how soon it's coming.
Yeah, I'm hearing that it's the end of this year. It's been postponed quite a bit, so at this point I'm not sure when it's going to come. But I think if the government is thinking like I'm thinking, they should need to arrange flights from Central America straight to St. Vincent. That's a market they need to capitalize on.
That would be beautiful. Wow, reconnecting again directly. Now, for those of us who have never traveled to St. Vincent from Los Angeles or New York, tell us the itinerary.
Okay, if you're traveling from Los Angeles, you most likely will go to Florida and then fly to either Barbados, Trinidad, Antigua, or Grenada.
Okay.
Even St. Lucia.
Wow.
If you're flying from New York, you would fly from New York to one of those ports.
Okay.
If you're going from LA, if you're going from Houston, Central America, most people from Houston, LA, Central America would most likely go into Florida and then go from there to one of those ports. We in New York, it's a little easier. We just go straight from here to one of those ports. And then after you get there, you have to connect to what's called LIAT. LIAT is a small airline, seats about 60-something people. And that's usually the only airline that goes into St. Vincent. I'm not sure why St. Vincent have one airline service in that island. It's a small island, but it's not that tiny that you should have one airline. And of course, LIAT has the whole market cornered, and it's difficult. So we're hoping that with the international airport, people don't have to deal with that anymore. They will deal with it, but not for coming from New York.
How much is the average price from New York?
Well, I was trying to get some information for people who want to go down if they want to come during that last week that we have the program. And it came out to, if you were flying the Florida route, it came out to about, oh boy. Okay, I think this is a little different here. I don't have the figures in front of me because here's the thing. I was trying to price a trip that includes hotel, transportation, meals, and airline tickets with both LIAT and everything included, and it was coming up to about $1,800 to $2,000 for everything. And for the New York trip, New York to St. Vincent, that is, but then again, those areas would have been for people coming from Houston or LA, and they would have an additional airfare that was not included there. If you're going from New York, it was about $2,000. So you could say it's safe to say that maybe about $1,100 of that was the airline.
Okay. That's not bad,
Yeah.
people. For those of us who have never traveled to St. Vincent, we could pretty much do an estimate and put your money together and enjoy the view, because the island is gorgeous. I'm going to be posting some pictures online on my Facebook page, or you could also Google it yourself and get those beautiful pictures of the main island of St. Vincent, and of course the surrounding islands that we hear so much about, like Becua, Baliso, and so many that they don't come to my mind.
There's Union Island, there's Palm Island, there is Kanawan, there's Mustique, Myro. There are a lot of little, they call it Grenadine Islands.
Right.
But Beckway, interestingly enough, it is said that at least some of the Garinagu that the Africans that went on to form the Garifuna people, that they actually came ashore. That's one of the story, whether it's a legend or not, I don't know. But that's one of the stories you hear, that Beckway is where they had actually entered, and they were taken into mainland St. Vincent by the Caribs. Of course, I have some issues with some of the stories that the description of how Garifuna people got to St. Vincent. I don't believe in, for instance, the slave ship theory. I do believe that Africans went there as explorers, and I'm not saying it could not have happened where slaves somehow made it there, because I know the Caribs, for instance, always had a history in St. Vincent of running ships aground and taking the cargo, the human cargo, and relieving the Europeans of those cargo. Yes. So that is certainly a possibility that you could have had something like that happening. But I do not believe for one second that the majority of the Africans that went to St. Vincent had anything to do with slavery. And I kind of always have a resentment for the fact that we're always being linked to slavery. We're always being, not that there's something wrong with the Africans, with formerly enslaved Africans. I'm saying it to say that we are a multifaceted people, and one should not always try to pin every existence in these parts to slavery, because there were free black people here and even in the Americas that were not slaves.
Right.
And people need to come to grips with that.
Yeah, good point. Thank you for that, Trish. No, that's important to know. Now let's move on to this big project, this wonderful annual project, the retrieval project that you started. Can you give us some background on how the Garifuna retrieval project come about in St. Vincent?
Okay, it came about because in my pursuit to discover my Garifuna roots, and the fact that we had a whole rich culture and language that we grew up and not know anything about. I then, after meeting James Lavelle and people like that, I remember James in particular, when I met him, he always talked very fondly of St. Vincent. And I always said, man, if we could get people to go back there and teach the kids the language, because I think the language is at the heart of so much about being Garifuna.
Yes.
And at some point we had a discussion, and about 6 of us got together and funded that for a trip. Myself, James Lavelle, Lenina Bullock, James Cordes, Kyla Herbert, and Vaughn Arters. The 6 of us did that first project, and the second year it was just James and myself. And then we got, at the last minute, we were able to get in touch with Erica Zuniga, and she was able to go with us and do the choreographing. Yes, and then the following year, it was just James and I, and we were able to utilize the children who are now doing well enough to be able to teach each other and choreograph their own dances. And the third year, we brought Chris Vernon with us as the language director. And because James had really masterfully introduced the children to the language through the songs. And when Chris came in, we decided to have a full-blown language class, and she was able to work with the children with language class based on some materials that Mr. Palazzi had given us, and we made into a book. And so that's how we were able to get this project into St. Vincent and start it. And today we're about to go back for our 5th year, and the children are starting to speak a fair amount of Garifuna. There are times when I'm not a fluent speaker of the Garifuna language, because I spend so much time doing the preparation for all this stuff. I don't go to my classes anymore. I don't get a chance to read and study like I used to. Mm-hmm. But there are times when they're stumping me with what they know. you know.
Right.
And I have to say, wait a minute, I can't remember what that means, you know. So I kind of laugh at that and find it amusing, but I'm very pleased that they are picking up so much of it.
No, yes, indeed. No, I think it's important. And I think your learning now is happening more direct. I think you are immersed with the children in the teaching going on. And I think it's wonderful, even though you don't have the time to read and to go to school anymore. I think you're living it. You're part of it now. So I think that's important as well. It is a wonderful project.
The thing is, when I was in St. Vincent, not to cut you off, but when I was in St. Vincent, I mean, the smiles, the hugs when I saw those children, I would run into them. I remember some of them when they saw me, their mouths flew open. Oh my God, Miss Trish, we didn't know you were here. And when they tell me the things that they're doing, they're coordinating things. They're doing drum sessions. They're going and appear for cultural stuff. Garifuna month, they're doing a lot of things around the island. They had a conference there recently, and those kids were there performing and playing. I think the one for something for costumes, because I left like a lot of costumes there and drums and things like that, so they borrow them from time to time. And they are just really real soldiers in this whole effort of helping to carry this on, even when we're not there.
Right. I have just posted the website for Yuga Cure, YUGACURE.com, which is the website that details all the work that you have been doing back home in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So for those of you who want to go and visit the website, I have posted it on my profile, Ronnie Figueroa. For those of you listening who are not my friend, you could go ahead and make me your friend and go on my page and find the information on Trish St. Hill, what she's been doing in St. Vincent, as well as the books that she has published, and of course the wonderful work that she's been doing right along with the fundraisers to try to put the money together to keep funding this project year after year. So with that, it leads us right into the next question. Has the Garifuna community in New York been responsive with your endeavors to bring back the culture to SVG?
Not really. We have a very small group, Rosita Alvarez and the Garifuna Mass Committee ladies of Brooklyn. That group has been always very supportive. I saw, for instance, some people like Milton Guidi. He came to our last event that we had. It was my book signing, and when I did my book signing, the funds, once we paid for our expenses, the funds that were left over went towards Yuga Cure, because that's how we fund Yuga Cure. We're not getting grants. We really have not seen support from the Garifuna community, which is very surprising to me, but I try to not let things get me down. I try to not focus on who's not supporting me, but rather focus on who does support me. I remember when I had last year's event, they would say, "Oh well, $75, that is a lot." And I said, "But we've had events for $25, for $30, and they didn't come either." So if they really want to support, they can support. Now we're having an event next Saturday, the 4th of April, at 5 p.m. at 671 Prospect Place in Brooklyn. That's 671 Prospect Place in Brooklyn, 5 p.m. next Saturday. It'd be interesting to see how many people besides that small group in the Garifuna community come. I've already resigned to the fact that they're not going to support this project. They're not supporting
give me the
it.
address
And
again.
as much as I wish that they had supported it, I'm not going to focus too hard on it because I realize it's not coming.
Garinagu, you're listening. Please support this wonderful project called Yuga Cure. It is a project to bring the culture back to St. Vincent, along with the dances, the language, the food, and the Garifuna way, Garifuna duo. So let's support Trish St.Hill in this wonderful project, in this endeavor to try to bring back the culture back to the motherland, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, Trish, what is the name of the location? I'm typing the information on my profile so people could copy it and save it, and of course try to make it to the event. And if they can't make it, they could always make a donation online. So, what is the name of the place?
Yes,
I got the address already.
They can always go to yugacure.com, YUGACURE.com, and there's a donation button there. The event is going to be at the building called the Friends of Crown Heights, located at 671 Prospect Place in Brooklyn. It is a fundraising event. This is how we're going to be able to make this possible for these children. If we're not able to raise enough funds, we will not be able to take the project, because I've carried it on my back for the last 4 years, where at least 3 years I have carried majority of the funding came from my resources. Last year I was able to get some help, but still a lot of it had to come from my resources. And I don't mind putting some money in it, but it's getting a bit, much for me to carry on. So we're asking people to come out and support us. It's good to say that it's a good idea, but they need to support it.
I have LMB Roots, the radio station in New York. His name is Jonathan Silva. He's asking for the flyer. He says he wants to post it in his very popular radio station called lmbroots.com, which is rebroadcasting in New York. So he's telling me, please send me the flyer so we could post it on our radio station and try to make it more visible and make sure that people in the community know that this effort needs to be supported by each one of us, even if it's $1 per person. Anything will help. So please, let's make this flyer available to lmbrootslabuga.com. So he needs to go to yugacure.com to download the flyer, or how can we get the flyer, Trish?
Do they have a Facebook? Let me see. I think I would send it to you, and then you could share with them.
Yeah, send it to me right now. In the meantime, I could play one song. Let me play one song about St. Vincent, and then we'll get back so we could maybe drink some water, refresh our throat, and get ready for the next part of the interview, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Garifuna Music with DJ Labuga. We're live and direct in the studios from Long Beach, California, and we have Trish St.Hill, Executive Director of the cultural retrieval program called Yuga Cure. And it is happening year after year in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and it's coming up in a few days. So we need all the money, all the donations that you could make so that we can continue to fund and help Trish with this great endeavor. Vemos ya.
From the land of my forefathers, the voice of my ancestors. From the land of my forefathers, hey mo yurume, 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 we buga yurume, hey mo yurume, diyabi wa bima. Liyabi wa tugura Wereru Garifuna, the voice of my ancestors. From the land of my forefathers, the voice of my ancestors. From the land of my forefathers, Keimo Yurume, Keimo Yurume, Keimo Yurume, Keimo Yurume, Keimo Yurume, Keimo Yurume, Weibuka Yurume, Keimo Yurume. Oh yeah.
Okay, just send the flyer on Facebook.
Okay, Trish, I'm sorry. This is what I'm hearing from the people who are on social media right now, and they are really bombarding me with the information. They say, well, we never know about her events. We need to know. Please send us the information so we could help. We are willing to help. And these are people who are online right now. So please, everybody, Make sure you get, let's see, come to my page, Ronnie, Rony Figueroa, Figueroa, Ronnie Figueroa. We have the information right now. I'm going to post it at this point and make sure that everybody is aware that there is a fundraiser going on and that we all come and support, that we have no more excuses to help to bring back the Garifuna culture back to Yurumen. Oh my God, this is so beautiful. Let me read let's see, let me share it. I am sharing the picture right now. It says, Yuga Cure, Yurumen Garifuna Cultural Retrieval Gala, Saturday, April 4th. So this is coming up next week. Friends of Crown Heights Building, 671 Prospect Place, Brooklyn, New York, 11216 is the zip code. Cocktails from 5 to 6 p.m. Dinner, fashion show from 6 to 7 p.m. and of course dinner dance from 7 p.m. until 11:30 p.m. in aid of the 5th annual Garifuna Cultural Retrieval Summer Workshop in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Live entertainment with the open bar and dinner with award presentation. A special guest, Peggy Dodson, CEO, founder of UBC TV. Donation is $75. Please get information by calling 347, area code 347-488-4395. Performers, the legendary Garifuna singer Paula Castillo. Oh, she's one of my favorite. Live Garifuna band with dancers. Let's see. Oscar James with his latest release, Argyle International Airport, and DJ Anthony Featherson. Cultural attire is preferable, so and encouraged, of course. Thank you, Trish. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have posted the information on this fundraiser next April 4th, Saturday, and it's going to be happening in Brooklyn, New York. So we have no more excuses. Let me send the flyer. Let's see, LMB, Jonathan, now you could go ahead and go to my page, Jonathan, and download the flyer, and maybe you could post it as soon as possible on your famous radio station front page so that we could get more people to participate and of course, contribute to this wonderful cause. All right, let's get back to the interview. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Trish St.Hill. She is the executive director of Yuga Cure, the cultural retrieval program that happens back to back every year, now going on its fifth year of doing this wonderful project. And also she's an author of 3 books. So let's continue. Going back to the responsiveness of the people in New York, Garifuna for that matter, has the government of St. Vincent been responsive with the retrieval project?
Well, I think I couldn't say that the government doesn't give us anything, because we do get some assistance from the culture department, which is part of the government. Mm-hmm. And we get like a donation to, not we get it, but they give something, they pay the drivers some donation towards that. They will pay maybe about a third or so of one of the vans, and we have several vans because we have a lot of children. We have over 100 children. So we can't say that we are not getting anything from the government of St. Vincent. We also do get a school where we have the event. We also get a place to have our concerts free of charge. It is not a rich country. And so I am being realistic in saying that that is not really, I don't think that's feasible to go there and think they're going to give you thousands of dollars. They're not going to do that. Because we're still in a day where I think people still see that as not a priority. The rulers, I hate to say it, they're not seeing that as a priority. Contrary to whatever they will say, they're not seeing that as a priority. It's not something that they're going to spend a ton of money on. So what we have been doing is trying to make sure we get our events sponsored and try to go to New York, where we are not from New York, where we're not going down there and not have things in place. So that's why we're doing the fundraisers. I have not pocketed a dollar from any books of my own books that I've sold for years, because that's what I have to do. I have to sell books. I have to do garage sale. I have to do, barbecues, and of course this yearly event. And just pull together, and we have a few people that, make little donations here and there. About a year ago, Mr. Cacho, a Garifuna gentleman from Belize, had left some funds in St. Vincent to benefit the Garifuna people 5 years ago.
Wow.
And when he went back, they were not able to tell him where the funds were. Eventually, they located the funds. It was in the National Trust. And we were able to get those funds last year. So this year, it's going to be really tough because we don't have those funds. So it is going to be, we have to put a lot into this fundraiser to be able to make this possible for these children. Because if we stop now, this is never going to take hold again.
Right.
If we stop now, we are not going to get this going again. Because we were, at one point, the second year, some people had suggested that we wait. There's not enough money. Don't, let's not do this year. And James and I both felt that if we stopped, this was not going to happen.
Yes.
We just had to keep going.
Wow.
And that's how we do it.
It's amazing. It's amazing the drive that you have to keep going, and the people that surround you, people like James Lovell and the people who you mentioned at the beginning who have been, they started with you, they're no longer with you, but they were able to propel you and give you that energy for you to come and see this dream become a reality. It's not easy, but it's not difficult either. So now, with the help of our listeners and the people who have that passion to bring back the culture back to St. Vincent, hopefully we could get more funds going for you. I understand that, let's see, that the website is not .org like some people are mentioning on social media. Is yugacure.com. If you look it up under yugacure.org, you're not going to get anything. So you got to go to yugacure.com. That is the website. So if you want to get involved, or either by donating money or time or helping during this fundraiser, please contact Trish St.Hill. Her information is on that website. So again, www.yugacure.com, yugacure.com. And if you want to donate, go ahead, and there is a page. It's a tab there that you click, and you go to the donation page and make your donation. Any amount will help, right, Trish?
Exactly. Every amount will help. There's a donation button. They make it really easy. My number, there's even a contact page if you want to contact me if you have questions. And I always say that with folks. I've had people who are not Garifuna. People who had never heard the word Garifuna, never met a Garifuna before they met me. And they will go and buy 2 tickets. And say, Trish, I can't make it, but here, just to donate, just to help you. They'll buy 1 ticket. They'll go up on the website, put $50. And people who are Garifuna would not do. It's right here. We've been sending out emails. We don't have a lot of resources to get on the radio and stuff like that. But we've been doing this for a while, and we don't get any help from except for, like I said, that small group. Those ladies who come, they'll help us with whatever we need. They always buy a ticket and come. Try to get people, and it just has not been the interest, and so, I'm always very baffled, how do people who are not even part of this culture have the charity in them to say, let me at least buy a ticket, or let me go up and put $50. I mean, I can't go, but I could give them $20, give them $25, and we don't see that at all. And I'm very, very baffled. And like I said, I stopped stressing. I've never really stressed about it, but I stopped even expecting it because I'm like, I'm not going to get this. I don't know what it's about, but I'm not getting that support from them, and I don't waste my time trying to get support from people who don't want to support.
Yes.
I rather focus on the ones that I do have, and if they come aboard, I am always welcoming and would love to have them. I cater my events to cater to Garifuna people, not just to Caribbean people, but to Garifuna people. Get Garifuna singers, Garifuna musicians, dancers. Well, I never had dancers. This time I'm going to have dancers. I had Paula before. James have been there, and I have to say, let me thank James immensely for his support over the last 4 years. He's not going to be going to us this year, but we wish him all the best in whatever he end up doing in the future, whatever his performances, whatever he's doing. We are always going to be grateful for James for the work that he did in St. Vincent. He has gone there. He has taken those children and introduced them to this culture and been there, set up stuff. He did a marvelous job. I can never say enough about the job that he has done. I could never be more thankful for what he has done with this project. There would never be a time when anyone would ever discredit him for what he has done in my presence, because he has done a spectacular job with this project, and unselfishly gave up his time and go there and work with these children, and I would always be grateful for him for doing that, and I certainly wish him the best.
No, definitely. We got to give an applause to James Lavelle and the people who surround you and give you that energy to keep going. So, Inyura hala garinagu, let's elevate, let's lift up Garifuna. Inyura hala Garifuna, let's help, please. Kemutia, Wabarugon, let's move forward and upward. Let's keep doing and helping people like Trish St.Hill who have this beautiful project called Yoga Cure. So I'm pleading to all of you listening to this radio show tonight to please go into your wallet, get that debit card, that credit card, and make a donation by going to her website, www.yugacure, Y-U-G-A, let me see, YUGACure.com, and go to the donation page and make that donation. Please, let's help her. It is a wonderful
let me also
project.
say this.
Yes.
Let me also say this, that at the event we would have a credit card reader. So let's say you want to come, but you don't necessarily have cash. We would have a credit card reader there to be able to swipe your card for you. So that might make it a little bit easier for some people who want to come but say, I don't know if I have $75, but maybe they can put it on a credit card.
There you go. Hey,
prepared.
you're smart businesswoman, Sasamu. Great. This is a good idea. Okay, so can you tell us about the several teachers that have volunteered year after year in the retrieval project? I know you mentioned James Lavelle and other people, but please let us know, the audience wants to know, who have been the teachers who have volunteered year after year in the retrieval project, or have been there once at least?
Well, of course, James. Of course, Eleanor Bullock. She introduced those children to those dances. So she was the pioneer, if you will, in Garifuna dancing in St. Vincent. And, of course, James with the drumming and the music. And after that, we had Erica Zuniga, and she did a really good job as well. Wonderful job with the children. She really, really did a good job. Christine Vaughan, and like I said, this is going to be Christine's third year. This is a woman on a fixed income, and she goes there. She pays her own way. She goes there with us every single year since 2013. So this is going to be a third year going there. She does the language part of it. I do the history. We introduced the history last year. And we did the cooking a couple of years. Every year we do cooking. So we do drumming, dancing, and the singing. We do the language. We do history. And we actually are going to be introducing drum making class, because this year we're going to be taking Georgette Lambe. She's going to be going with us with the musical part of it.
And our Georgette
Mingo Alvarez Mingo is going to be going with us. Mingo is going to teach them how to make drums. He's going to bring pieces of the drums and put it together with them. So every year we try to introduce something. We're really trying to do this like a real comprehensive way. We want them to understand the food, the language. I did a history class with them, and we had one session where we talk about the food. And the one thing that we found is that St. Vincent still have a lot of the Garifuna food. Vincentian food is Garifuna food.
Yes.
When we start to go back and look at the food that we eat, and we talk about banana dumpling. That's Bundiga. But now we've been so colonialized that we put flour in it, so it's banana dumpling, but whereas before we wouldn't have put flour in it. So a lot of the food is there. We talk about mata and piso. That's the same thing that you made the hudut in. But they don't call it the same name.
Yes.
They don't say Hana. They say mata and piso. So, we still have a lot of the things that as we put it together, we start to realize we still have a few places that make cassava bread and farine. We still have things that maybe are root starch for the babies, and, still have a lot of Garifuna culture. Even the way that my family, for instance, always was into, interpreting dreams. And this whole notion that, your loved ones are never far away, and they're guiding you, and they're coming back and bringing and healing you in your sleep, in your dreams, and things like that.
That's deep.
We always had that really heavily in St. Vincent, but we really didn't get where it came from.
Wow, that is amazing. Wow. Hey, Martin Bermudez says he supports the event. He has supported in the past, and he will support this time around. So, Martin Bermudez listening in New York, thank you so much.
Let me add his name. He was there last year, yes. Martin was there last year. He definitely was. He was there last year with us, and we appreciate it, Martin.
No, he was helping in New York, or he traveled to St. Vincent? Martin Bermudez.
No, not to St. Vincent, but he came out last year and supported us at the event.
Right. So next thing for him is to come to St. Vincent and help you out there. You need a lot of help.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Yes, and you know one thing, Trish, that you were talking about the retrieval of the culture, and I think the job that you're doing by having the kids participate in doing things that are Garifuna is better than having them sit and listen to an adult talk. I think it's better the way you do it with the drum building and making of the drum and the preparation of the food, because that's hands-on experience, and the kids don't get bored. They will learn, and they will never forget that. You know, I think it's wonderful. I want to say hello to Carlos Gamboa, listening in New York. I hope Carlos give us a donation to Yoga Cure. Carlos is a wonderful man.
Oh, that's another one that supports us. No, he's another one that does support us.
We love you, Carlos. Yeah, we love you. I know you're listening. Thank you so much. Yes.
Yeah, like I said, there's a small group of people that does. I don't know what it is, what I am doing wrong. In terms of getting it out, like I said, we don't have a lot of money, so maybe we're not getting it out to the right people.
Yes.
But we certainly try to put the website out, we send out email, but are we not sending to the right group? I'm puzzled, because I keep saying every time we have the event, I'm trying as much as I can to see if I can get the Garifuna people involved. And I love so much to see them get together with Vincentians. I remember the first year when we had the event,
yes,
the group that came, they met with the Vincentians, and we played both types of music. And at one point, the Vincentians were dancing to Calypso and reggae, and the Garifunas were dancing to, when I say Garifunas, I mean the diaspora Garifuna from Central America. They were dancing to Garifuna music, Punta. And all of a sudden, they all got up, and my older daughter was at the door, and she said, "Ma, it was so beautiful." And I peeked inside, I saw them all on the floor. All of a sudden, they were dancing together. Oh, and it was so beautiful. I don't think they realize that the St. Vincent of today is not of long ago, owing to this program and others, people like Renee Batiste and what's her name, Nelsia Robinson, who has done things to make this awareness happen. What you have today are people who really revere the Garifuna from Central America. That we understand what they have done to preserve this beautiful culture for us. That we know that if it was not for them, we wouldn't have a culture. Yes, and we appreciate them. I have a lady, for instance, who I'm trying to get a hotel in case that people want to go. And when she heard who I was reserving it for, she said, "Oh, my God, I would love to do this for our Garifuna people." They are absolutely revered. I know that in the old days, people were clueless. They didn't have a clue. And in my book, Tears of Exile, you would understand how that came about, how systematically our culture was destroyed and we were made to feel embarrassed for even wanting to be Garifuna. And over time, it disappeared in terms of our awareness. But today, you have people, they are aware. They are aware. Now, thanks to James, the Vincentian anthem was translated to Garifuna. And whether you're in St. Vincent or here, people expect either James or somebody who knows it to sing it.
Yes, wow, that's beautiful. I know
that somebody, when they do the anthem in English, it will be done right after in Garifuna.
Wow, that's beautiful. So James Lovell was one of the people who helped to translate these St. Vincent.
That helped. He translated it. He translated it.
Oh, wow, excellent, beautiful. Congratulations.
He translated it, so it is now a customary thing. You don't do it without doing it in Garifuna now.
Oh, wow.
I even heard talks that one of the things they might be doing is putting the signs in the new airport in English and Garifuna, which I think is very befitting.
You know what? I have a feeling, Trish, that you guys are trying to repatriate. You're trying to steal our James Lovell and take him back to St. Vincent. I have a feeling that he's going to retire back there, which is good.
Well, you know what? At this point, I think he's a Vincentian at this point.
Yes.
Well, they're all Vincentians, but you know what I mean? I think at this point, he's Vincentianized.
One thing I wanted to bring up, and this is because you talked about it. You touched upon this very important issue that the food is still present in St. Vincent. Now, some of the customs, for example, in Honduras and Guatemala and Belize and even in Nicaragua, when the fishermen come with the catch of the day, there is a man waiting for them, or usually somebody there will blow the conchs. And the conchs, when they call it what? Let me see if I remember the name. Wadabu is the word of the conchs, right, in Garifuna. When they play it to announce that the fish are coming, the catch of the day, so people will come out and meet them so that they could buy the best and the freshest fish in the market right there. Is there such a thing as St. Vincent?
Oh, yes. I even sent something on Facebook where all of a sudden I'm in my mother's bottom porch and I heard this conch shell blowing. And I came and this man opened the gate. He came in with a basket of fish. He said, I came to see if your mother wants any fish to buy. And he was walking around blowing he came up from the beach and he walked through the town and he's blowing the fish. And the town that we are from, Barrouallie, this was actually one of the main towns under the Garifuna and the French.
Wow.
Kingston, of course, and Georgetown, those are more British creations.
Yes, yes.
And so that's why I'm always very honored to have this program in Barrouallie, because I feel like Barrouallie is very central to our Garifuna nest. Contrary to people want you to believe that the only thing that had any Garifunas were places like Sandy Bay and Oria and Fancy, and everybody else is not a Garifuna if you don't live in those areas. It is such nonsense. There's nothing farther from the truth, because everybody knows that Sandy Bay was created after the exile of the Garifuna, and eventually the move. It was where they put the Kalinago people, and when the Sofre erupted in 1900, Garifunas were moved on there, and then the mixing started happening again, and then some Garifunas were put in places like Rosebank in Clare Valley, Camden Park, and these areas. You have places like Rose Hall that I never grew up hearing anybody from Rose Hall saying that they were Garifuna. Today, they're very proud of their heritage. Wow. Because, again, when you don't know any better, you don't know. But when you know, you embrace. And you don't have people try to tell you that you should ignore what you're from, or where you're from, or who your roots, where your roots came from. You should be proud of it. And so what you're seeing now in St. Vincent is people who are saying, listen, we know who we are, and we're not going to have anybody tell us that, anything derogatory about who we are. We know who we are, and we're proud of who we are. And these little kids that we're working with, let me tell you, I think that James and I have put a mark on these kids that is my hope for St. Vincent. Not so much the older generation, because some of the older generation, it's going to be hard for them to really, get their head totally out of the conditioning that took place. But those little children, I have much hope in what they're going to do with their lives when they grow up. And I know that's a group of children that is not going to grow up in ignorance like I did.
Yes, no, but
I have hope.
I heard what you said with the children, but when I saw the documentary by Andrea Leland called Yurume in Homeland, I saw a lot of the elders, a lot of the elderly, a lot of the people who have grandchildren and children already talk about rediscovering themselves and doing research online, listening to Garifuna music online, and probably listening to our show at this very moment as we speak. They are the ones interested, and I saw it on that documentary, that they are trying to go and look for information. They travel to England, they go online, they try to grab books at the library and just try to suck it all up. That's so interesting. That
oh my gosh! I took some dictionaries and some some of the textbooks. And even grown-ups were begging me, please, can I have one? Please, can I have one? You go to places like Greg's, and they have Garifuna Springs there. You go to Sandy Bay, Garifuna Radio, Garifuna Bakery, Garifuna this, Garifuna that. Now, the thing the joke in St. Vincent now is that everybody's a Garifuna.
It's your fault. It's your fault.
And people sometimes find it amusing. Oh my God, these people that would have never been saying to anybody before that they're Carib descent. And it's really not that they knew it and they were not saying it, that they did not know it.
Right.
So when you start talking to them, they'll say, oh my God, my grandmother was from Sandy Bay, and now I understand why she looked the way she looked, and blah, 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 blah. My grandmother was from Greg's, or my grandmother was from Rosebank, so people are starting to connect the dots now.
Wow, the Garifuna story is so amazing. So how expensive is this project to finance, and for how long does it run every year? How long is this retrieval project, Trish?
To really set it up the way that we want it, it would take about $25,000. But we are realistic, so we usually try to see if we can go do it on 15, because we have to, get people there. I was able to purchase a property there, and so now when the crew, I don't have to go rent a house or anywhere to put them. They have a comfortable place to stay, and all I need is somebody to cook and clean up and things like that. So that's one less headache that we got to worry about.
Yes.
So we find ways to make it affordable, so I don't have to pay for a hotel. I'll pay for somebody's house.
Wow.
They would have a comfortable place to stay in, and if anybody's going to make themselves small, it's going to be me, because when I take people there, it's a very serious thing for me. I don't want to take them there and they're not comfortable.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that they're well fed, they're well taken care of, they're in a clean environment and things like that. They have transportation to take them around and so forth. So we would ideally like that, but we are prepared to do it for less, because the important thing is that the children get this program going continuously. I really want to see if we could get it in there like on a permanent basis, like put the book in the school, get teachers in there that would teach it. That is really what I want to see.
But the problem would be that now you're doing more than what they're doing in Guatemala, Honduras, Belize, and Nicaragua, because they need to do that over there. The fact that the children are growing up in their families and they speak the language does help, but they also need the education in schools. They also need to implement the Garifuna history and the language and the music within the curricula in the schools in the host nations of Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. I think a good example would be, besides what you are doing, I think it's the Gulisi School in Dangriga. I think they're doing a wonderful job. So people, listen again, $15,000, 15,000 US dollars is what's needed to run this program on an annual basis. But the best scenario would be to try to raise $20,000 to $25,000 to make it more affordable for everybody, to bring a much more quality of a program to the children. Not to say that it's not a program of quality at this point, but it will make it a lot easier, and there will be more resources available to the children who participate in the reacculturation program. Trish, with this, I want to focus on you now. You are an author, and you have written several books. Can you talk about your published books?
Well, my first book, like I said earlier, Beneath the Golden Mango Tree, is my introductory book. And that story really captured the beginning tale of the Garifuna, and talk about life as a Caribbean girl or immigrant coming to this country and what that experience is like. And being one who came here as a young girl and coming to the United States and not knowing my roots, I was primed to write that story, because while many people think it's autobiographical, I will not say that it's autobiographical, but I would say there are certain pieces of me in that story. The second book, at that point, I had visited my brothers and sisters in Belize and Honduras. And so at that point, I had become a little bit more immersed in the Garifuna culture and way of life. So I was able to write the second book and delve more deeply into the Garifuna story and history. And the third book, which I just finished and just had my book launch in January, and actually I've been using it to try to raise some of the funds, that book is called Tears of Exile. The second book, by the way, is called Beyond the Mango Shade. And the first book is, so the first one is Beneath the Golden Mango Tree. The second is Beyond the Mango Shade. And the third one is Tears of Exile. That book chronicles the Garinagu from the days of St. Vincent, before the conflict, before the exile. It shows you the way they live their lives, or the culture, how much of an unselfish people they were, how the village raised the child. I mean, it's such a realistic story. And it takes you to the rounding up of the people, taking them to Bali for imprisonment, taking them down to Central America, and then looping it back to modern day to link it back to some of the characters in the other books to show you how we're truly one people. As a matter of fact, what we're trying to do this year is to do a musical. I'm working right now on a screenplay to do a musical of Tears of Exile, and then put the whole performance for St. Vincent around that musical.
Wow, that's beautiful. Wow, you're
because I think that is the story. And James Lavelle's story, James Lavelle's musical, Walami Siru, did a beautiful job. He did a beautiful job with that musical. And we want to, but we want to do a bit. We want to do it with a bit more speaking parts. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we want to do it with. I think one of the beautiful things that James would do, he would do it in English and Garifuna. He would do it in English and Garifuna. We want to see if we could do that as well here with Tears of Exile and that musical, but we also want to do a lot more speaking parts.
Wow, that's beautiful. So, that's great.
And just incorporate it with the music, and then, Georgette and Mingo, they will come in and kind of lace it with their musical pieces.
Now, these videos, you videotape all of the what's going on in St. Vincent, the retrieval, and since you're mentioning this new play that you want to incorporate, all of this is videotaped so people could actually watch it on YouTube, right?
Yes, a lot of it, not the full volume, but we have a lot of clips, a lot of pieces under the kids practicing, the concert. When we have events, we show it, like during the cocktail hour, people could sit down with their food and watch it. And let me say this with our event. We have a full bar, open bar, so nobody have to buy drinks. We have cocktail hour, we have dinner. I mean, this packed of entertainment. I can't even start to tell you half the entertainment. It is usually a really, really big event. One that, people, we always say with my events, I don't want people to walk away feeling that they paid $75 and they barely got a snippet of meat. My stuff is the kind of thing where I'm walking with the styrofoam bowls, because I know that I'm probably going to have some food left back, because we cook a lot of food. And I've been very blessed to have some very wonderful people in my family who has kicked in there and do the cooking for me and come and help me serve and things like that. And that's how we get this program going. Yes. We don't have a lot of money. We don't get big donations. We don't get grants. So we just have to have people, kick in. But it's really, I really try to do it up nice. I make sure I got my linen, my silverware, my china, my balloons, and we really deck the place out nicely. I was even telling somebody, I think we should put a red carpet, because the people came like last year, they were so nicely dressed. Oh my God.
That would make it classy.
Really nice. I'm like, we need to put a red carpet.
Yes, definitely. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to recap a little bit. We have a beautiful, wonderful, ambitious Garifuna writer and a Garifuna. I would say she's so much within one person, and we're talking about Trish St.Hill. She is having a fundraiser under the name of GAHFU, which is the Yoruban Garifuna Cultural Retrieval Program, and it's a gala happening next Saturday, April 4th, at the Friends of Crown Heights building, 671 Prospect Place in Brooklyn, New York. Cocktail hour will be between 5 and 6 p.m. Dinner, fashion show between 6 and 7. And the dinner dance from 7 on. So in aid of the 5th annual Garifuna Cultural Retrieval Summer Workshop in the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, bringing back the Garifuna culture to the motherland. A live entertainment with open bar and dinner with a word presentation. So don't forget, next Saturday, April 4th, a special guest, Peggy Dodson, CEO and founder of UBC TV. Donation is $75. If you can't attend, make sure you make a pledge, a donation for any amount by going on the website. And thanks for listening, Angela Palacio. Also, Kevin Ramirez, who is listening live. He just came back from the island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He went on a very special mission. He went to perform, and he did an opening for a major Jamaican reggae artist out there, and he went and he experienced his Garifunaness. He went and he just came back a changed man. I'm talking about a young musician, Kevin Ramirez from GX team. So congratulations, Kevin, on your journey, and let us support Trish St.Hill. Trish, is there anything else you want to add before we continue to play this wonderful music and of course to continue to entertain our people who are listening in St. Vincent, in Guatemala, in Honduras, in Belize, in Nicaragua, in the United States, the whole continent?
Well, like I said, just come out and support us next week at 5 p.m. at 671 Prospect Place in Brooklyn. And if by some chance you are not able to come to the event, you can always go to yugacure.com. That's YUGACURE.com. And you can make a donation. There's a donation button right on the main page. You can also, if you want to come to the event and you don't have cash, you can always put it on a credit card. We come prepared. And just come out and have a wonderful time.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Trish, for spending this wonderful quality time with us. I got to tell you something that during the time when we were playing the music, when we took a break, I had to accept the friend request from 3 people from St. Vincent. So we know the people from St. Vincent are listening. And thank you for supporting this effort. Thank you for listening. By just listening to our show, I think you're supporting this wonderful project. And now you could relieve it by being part of it while bringing it to you, to St. Vincent, thanks to this wonderful project called Yuga Cure. And thanks to Trish St.Hill for making it happen year after year, now celebrating 5 years of bringing the cultural retrieval project to St. Vincent. Anything else, Trish, you want to say?
No, I think that's it. I thank you very much for having me on, Ronnie. This was wonderful. And thanks for your support. This is very important to be able to get the word out.
One question, Trish. There's a question that came through the social media. It says, Trish, I noticed earlier that you refer yourself interchangeably as a Cherub/Garifuna woman. Explain that, because some people from Belize get offended by the word Cherub.
Now, well, I usually say I'm a Garifuna woman, but Garifuna people have some degree of Carib blood in them.
Of course.
That is what makes you a Garifuna. You're a Carib, you're an Arawak, you're African. Clearly, for many of us, the Africanness is more dominant in terms of our appearance. So I am a Garifuna woman. That's how I chose to identify myself.
Right. No, I think the problem is...
But as a Garifuna, I have Carib blood.
Of course. But then what happened in Belize, and I believe that is because of the discrimination that happened against Garinago, is because they were called Kerobi or Kerob in that term, not Carib, but Kerob. And I think that's an offensive term against the people of Garifuna descent. You know what I mean? So I think that somebody heard the word interchangeably, which is not bad. I mean, being a Carib, or I would say Carib, because that is from the indigenous people, you know. But
well, we could say well, in St. Vincent, I think today the political correct term is Kalanago. So if we want to be politically correct, the Kalanago people, African people, Arawak people, they blended together and formed the Garifuna.
Right.
So I don't want to mince words over, you know, I mean, I'm not saying I don't think I said Carib/Garifuna. I think I said I'm a Garifuna woman with Carib ancestry. Clearly, if you're a Garifuna, you have. But if you want to be politically correct and say you have Kalanago ancestry, we can say that.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Trish St.Hill, straight from New York. Let us support her project by attending the biggest event of the year next week, next month as well, April 4th, and the information is on our website on Ronnie Figueroa. So you can come and visit our page, or if you go to Yuga Cure, you could also get the information there. Thank you, Trish. We love you. Good luck with the project, and we'll make sure that we make our own donation as well. Thank you so much. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Ayo.
Okay. Thanks. Ayo.
Pure Dela masen suban, moya te umadago. Dela gasen suban, bingwi umadago. Dela masen suban, moya te umadago. Dela gasen suban, bingwi umadago. Ay mama. Gabu bari ayanuma haye mama ayanu dal alire wadagu mano ay mama I'm the running street. I will lie. Yeah. Baby, I will lie. I'm Muleno. Baby, I will lie. And I'm talking in the morning. And I'm talking in the evening. And I'm talking in the night time. Yeah. I really love. Mama baby, I really love. So Friday, so January, come on baby, let's go home.
Welcome to Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga. We are live from the studios in Long Beach through radiocentroamerica.com and lmbroots.com radio in New York. Every Wednesday from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We bring to you the best of recording artists, musicians, producers, and actors behind Garifuna Music. So welcome to Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga, and enjoy my show tonight.
Mama nuwe aleba nebeda ila alaga nuwe aleba nebeda umuti ebenu filwe wayo ayanu atibi ebenu matina lamu umuti ebenu mama filwe wayo ayanu atibi ebenu nuju matina lamu mama nuwe aleba nebeda ila mama nuwe aleba nebeda mama aleba nebeda nito aleba nebeda ila mama nuwe aleba nebeda umuti ebenu filme wayo ayanu atibi ebenu matina nagamu umuti ebenu filme wayo ayanu atibi ebenu matina nagamu ila mama nuwe aleba nebeda mama aleba nebeda nito aleba nebeda ila mama nuwe aleba nebeda ila alaga nuwe aleba nebeda rumuti ebenu mama filme wayo ayanu atibi ebenu nuguju matina nagamu rumuti ebenu mama filme wayo ayanu atibi ebenu nuguju matina nagamu ila mama nuwe aleba nebeda ila alaga nuwe aleba nebeda ila mama nuwe aleba nebeda ila mama nuwe aleba nebeda ila alaga nuwe
Respect.
Biasa inubo, wong stone bunye, luma ke wachilunu, lidong fula sule. Biasa inubo, wong stone bunye, luma ke wachilunu, lidong fula sule. Wafe tukale, wafe tukale, wafe tukale, luma tako wafe tukale, wafe tukale. Wafe tukale, numatago, wafe tukale.
¿Qué motea?
Ukunya guarinya gale, de mi siempre ibo. Honi kumati matiana, Jacqueline gate. Ukunya guarinya gale, let me see baby. Honi kumati matiana, Jacqueline gate. Lelu bagutimuwa, lelu bagutimuwa, lelu bagutimuwa, no matago wala gate. Lelu bagutimuwa, lelu bagutimuwa, lelu bagutimuwa, no matago wala gate. Mama, wala gate. Wala gate daro. Higino wane gumo. Wala gate. Wala gate. Wala gate daro. Higino wane gumo. Ukunya kwarinya gale, let me see my bone. Hungry kumati matiana, Jacqueline gate. Lelu bagutimuwa, lelu bagutimuwa, lelu bagutimuwa, no matago wala gate. Lelu bagutimuwa, lelu bagutimuwa, lelu bagutimuwa, no matago wala gate. Wala gate, wala gate daro. Higino wane gumo. Wala gate, wala gate, wala gate daro, mama. Higino wane gumo. Vamos a ver entonces que me van el siglo gay a disfrutar con Litanina y Aurelio Martínez. Óyeme tú. Ay, ay, ay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga. We're live and direct on www.radiocentroamerica.com in the West Coast, from Los Angeles, of course, and on www.lmbroots.com radio in New York. Thanks to Jonathan Silva and his family for making this possible to rebroadcast our show every Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it will be 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. So thank you so much to Trish St.Hill for being our guest tonight and talk about the project of bringing back the culture to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, also known as Urume, the land of the Garifuna. So thank you, Trish. Thanks for the information. And I am encouraging, I'm trying to encourage more people to support your event next week, April 4th. The information is on yugacure.com. YUGACURE.com, and also on my page on Facebook. You just have to befriend me as Ronnie. Find me as Ronnie, RONY Figueroa, FIGUEROA, and you can get the information not only on the big event, the red carpet event happening next weekend, April 4th in Brooklyn, but also information on the project that is going on. This year they're bringing two of our own in Los Angeles. Carlos Domingo Alvarez, also known as Mingo, is going to St. Vincent to teach the making of the Garifuna drums, and of course the drumming. He is one of the master drummers, and of course Miss Georgette Lambe, who is a teacher of the Garifuna language through music and drumming. She is wonderful. She also did some work for us under the Garifuna Language and Culture Academy here in Los Angeles under GAHFU, Garifuna American Heritage Foundation United. So let us support and let's keep this program going. Kemotia, next week we have a very special guest, 7 o'clock again. I can't give you the information yet because I gotta make sure that it is official. So I'll post it at least by tomorrow night. Kemotia.
Garifuna nugui, Utricia love. I am a Garifuna. Garifuna nugui, Utricia love. I am a Garifuna. I have my own language. I am a Garifuna. I have my own culture. I am a Garifuna. I have my own music. I am a Garifuna. I am a Garifuna. Garifuna nugui, Utricia love. I am a Garifuna. Garifuna nugui, Utricia love. I am a Garifuna. I live in the east. I am a Garifuna. I live up the land. I am a Garifuna. I live by the sea. I am a Garifuna. I love my country. I am a Garifuna. Garifuna nuguya, Utricia love. I am a Garifuna. Garifuna nuguya, Utricia love. I am a Garifuna. Garifuna nuguya, Utricia love. Garifuna nuguya, Utricia love. I have my own language. I am a Garifuna. I have my own culture. I am a Garifuna. I live by the sea. I am a Garifuna. My country. I am a Garifuna. Garifuna nuguya, Utricia love. 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 Garifuna nuguya, Utricia love. I'm a Rebunuago, how Balisna. I'm a Rebunuago, how Meluna. How Balisna. How Balisna. Garifuna nuguya, Garifuna love. Garifuna
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga. Thank you to Trish St.Hill for being our guest tonight. We had a wonderful show. We're gonna go ahead and process the recording, and we're gonna put it out there for anyone to listen live and direct. Well, not live, but on demand. So thank you so much to our listeners. Young Lion listening in the house. Kemotia. Eva Del Rey listening in Barrio Guambilitu, Labuga, Livingston. Miss Frida Sideroff from the Garifuna Film International Festival International is listening as well. Culture Boxego in Los Angeles is listening live to Garifuna Music and Talk with DJ Labuga. Okay, Motia? All right, we got more music, ladies and gentlemen. More music. That was the music from Sup Sanchez from right here from Los Angeles via Belize. Originally from Honduras, moved to Belize and then to the United States. So, Sup Sanchez will pass it on. Knowledge, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, in lieu of this wonderful interview we had earlier today with Trish St.Hill from St. Vincent and the Grenadines living in New York, I'm going to play this next tune right here. This is by Estrellas Ubo, and it features a musician from St. Vincent and the Grenadines who used to play with them. I think he was the bass player, and he was the one singing this song out of the album from Estrellas Ubo. Okay? I don't remember the name of the album at this point, but it's one of the best selling albums that Estrellas Ubo put out there from New York via Honduras. Okay, Motia? This is the last one, and we gotta go. Good night. Ayo, Butiguño. See you next week.
Every time I feel your heartbeat against my body, I get excited, feel excited. Every time you do the thing that you do to me, I get excited, so excited. Hold me, Jammy, baby, have no fear. It's a feeling I can't compare. I have this kind of feeling, a smooth kind of feeling. And when I get this feeling, I just feel like whining. I have this kind of feeling, this smooth kind of feeling. And when I get this feeling, I just feel like whining. I love you, God. Puta is a music that always keep you rocking, morning and evening, concert jamming, man and woman rocking the body in the party. Can't refuse it, can't resist it. All night, baby, I would take good care. It's a feeling I want to share. I have this kind of feeling, it's good that kind of feeling. And when I get this feeling, I just feel like whining. I have this kind of feeling, it's good that kind of feeling. And when I get this feeling, I just feel like whining. I love you, God.
Big up to our very good friend, Empress Cristian Logaldes in Chicago.
While